The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the gleaming hull of the exploration vessel Star Seeker *. Captain Ross stood on the bridge, his 4 eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded his command chair. The ship's sensors had picked up something unusual in this sector, far from any known civilization's territory. "Captain, we're detecting a large metallic object ahead," reported Officer Lee from her station. Her fingers danced across the control panel, bringing up more detailed scans. "It appears to be an artificial construct. A ship, perhaps." Ross leaned forward, his interest piqued. This far out in unexplored space, any discovery could be significant. "Show me," he commanded, and a 3-dimensional image materialized in the center of the bridge. The object that appeared was indeed a ship, but unlike anything the alien crew had seen before. It was massive, easily twice the size of their own vessel, with a design that seemed both elegant and brutal. Its dark hull was scarred with what appeared to be battle damage, and its running lights were dark. "Fascinating," muttered Ross, rising from his chair to circle the hologram. "Look at the primitive design. Those must be nuclear exhaust ports, and are those ballistic weapon mounts?" He couldn't help but laugh, a sound that was quickly echoed by his bridge crew. "Sir, we're detecting writing on the hull," Lee announced. "The universal translator is processing it now." After a moment, the symbols resolved into readable text. *Thunder of Terra*. Terra. Ross's second set of eyes blinked in surprise. "This is a human vessel. How extraordinary." His laughter grew louder. "To think we found one of their relics out here. It must be centuries old." The Star Seeker drew closer to the ancient warship, its advanced sensors probing every inch of the derelict vessel. The more they discovered, the more amused the alien crew became. The ship's power systems appeared to be based on nuclear fission, a technology that advanced races had abandoned millennia ago. Its weapons were simple projectile launchers and primitive energy weapons, and its hull was made of basic metal alloys. "Captain," called out Engineer Ward from his station, "should we prepare the salvage teams? This would make an excellent addition to the Museum of Primitive Technologies back home. The children would love to see how less advanced species try to reach the stars." Ross nodded approvingly. "Indeed they would. Look at these scan results. They were still using physical ammunition. Can you imagine? Fighting space battles by throwing metal at each other." The bridge erupted in laughter again. As the salvage teams prepared for their mission, Ross couldn't help but feel a touch of pity for the humans. They had clearly tried their best with the limited technology they possessed. The ship, despite its primitive nature, had a certain brutal beauty to it. Its design spoke of a species that refused to let their technological limitations stop them from reaching for the stars. "Sir," Lee called out, her voice suddenly serious, "I'm detecting some unusual power readings from the vessel. They're very faint, but they don't match what we'd expect from a derelict." Ross waved away her concern. "Probably just some residual radiation from their nuclear systems. These old ships were notoriously unsafe by modern standards." He turned to address the bridge crew. "Let's bring it in. Engage the tractor beams and prepare for salvage operations." The Star Seeker's powerful tractor beams reached out toward the Thunder of Terra*, their energy fields wrapping around the massive hull. As they did, something unexpected happened. For just a moment, the alien crew thought they saw lights flicker across the ancient vessel's surface. "Probably just reflection from our beams," Ross assured his crew, but something in his gut told him otherwise. Still, what harm could an ancient human warship possibly pose to their advanced civilization? It was nothing more than a relic, a curiosity to be studied and displayed. As the Thunder of Terra*, was slowly drawn toward their ship, none of the alien crew noticed the subtle changes beginning to occur within the ancient vessel's systems. Deep in its core, something was stirring, awakening from a long slumber, silently assessing the situation. The humans, it seemed, had a few surprises left to reveal. Tom Miller was the only human aboard the Star Seeker Asterisk, and he knew trouble when he saw it. He had been sleeping when the ship's alert system woke him, announcing the discovery of an unknown vessel. Now, standing in the observation deck and staring at the massive warship through the viewport, his face had gone pale. "That's impossible," he whispered, pressing his hand against the cold glass. "It can't be." The ship's internal transport system hummed as he rushed to the bridge, his heart pounding in his chest. The alien crew barely noticed his entrance, too busy laughing and making jokes about their primitive find. Captain Ross stood in the center of it all, pointing out what he thought were design flaws in the holographic display. "Captain," Tom called out, trying to keep his voice steady, "I need to speak with you about that ship." Ross turned, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of amusement in his species. "Ah, Engineer Miller, come to see a relic of your people's past. I must say, it's fascinating how far humans have come since these crude attempts at space travel." Tom took a deep breath. "Sir, that's not just any old warship. That's a Thunder-class vessel. They were legendary even in my grandfather's time." He pointed to specific parts of the hologram. "Those aren't simple nuclear reactors. There's something else, something we're not supposed to talk about." The bridge crew's laughter grew louder. Engineer Ward stepped forward, his tentacles waving in what humans had learned was their species' equivalent of a dismissive gesture. "Miller, our scans are quite clear. The power readings match primitive nuclear fission technology. See these radiation signatures, basic uranium reactions. With all due respect," Tom insisted, "your scans might not be showing everything." Thunder-class ships were built to be deceptive. "Miller," Ross interrupted, placing what was meant to be a comforting hand on Tom's shoulder, "I understand you might feel defensive about your species' past achievements, but facts are facts. This vessel is using technology that my people's children learn about in history classes." On the main screen, the salvage teams were beginning their approach. Tom watched in growing anxiety as they moved closer to the massive warship. "Please," he tried one last time, "at least let me check the ship's registry. If it's the one I think it is." "The registry?" Lee called from her station. "It's right here in the database, listed as decommissioned over 200 years ago. No crew, no active systems, no threats." She brought up the records on the main display. "See, nothing but an interesting museum piece." Tom stared at the registry information, his eyes widening. "That's what I was afraid of," he muttered. "Captain, those decommission records are fake. They were meant to be found. The Thunder-class ships were never decommissioned. They were reassigned." "Reassigned?" Ross asked, finally showing a hint of curiosity. "To what purpose?" Before Tom could answer, Engineer Ward called out from his station. "Captain, salvage team reports unusual energy readings. Very faint, but they say the ship's hull seems to be changing temperature." "Probably just the tractor beam's effect on the metal," Ross dismissed. "Continue the operation." Tom stepped closer to the hologram, pointing to specific sections of the massive vessel. "Look here and here. Those aren't battle scars, they're sensor arrays. And these primitive weapon mounts, they're just covers. The real weapons are hidden inside the hull." Ross sighed, his patience wearing thin. "Miller, I appreciate your input, but we've dealt with derelict ships before. Our technology is centuries ahead of anything this vessel might have possessed. Even if some systems are still active, they pose no threat to us." On the main screen, the salvage teams had reached the outer hull of the Thunder of Terra *. As they prepared to attach their cutting tools, Tom noticed something that made his blood run cold. A subtle shimmer ran across the ship's surface, almost too fast to see. "Captain," he said quietly, "I suggest you get those teams back right now. Because if I'm right about this ship, they're about to wake up something they really don't want to disturb." But it was already too late. The salvage team's cutting tools sparked against the hull of the Thunder of Terra *, But something wasn't right. Instead of slicing through the supposedly primitive metal, their advanced tools were barely leaving a mark. "This is impossible," the lead salvage technician reported, his voice crackling over the comm. "The hull composition is changing. It's adapting to our tools." Before Captain Ross could respond, a deep rumble echoed through space. The asterisk thunder of Terra's asterisk surface rippled like water, and the seemingly ancient battle scars began to shift and move. The salvage team's magnetic boots lost their grip as the hull beneath them transformed. "Get them out of there," Tom shouted. "The ship's waking up." Ross finally snapped into action. "Emergency recall. All salvage teams return immediately." But as the words left his mouth, sections of the hull split apart, revealing glossy black panels that had been hidden beneath the scared surface. The salvage team scrambled back toward their ships, but they weren't fast enough. Brilliant blue light erupted from the newly revealed panels, forming a translucent barrier. 3 of the salvage team members were caught outside it, while 2 made it back to their vessels just in time. "What's happening?" Ross demanded, all 4 eyes fixed on the display. "Those energy readings, they're impossible for a ship this old." Tom gripped the console in front of him, knuckles white. The Thunder-class ships were never meant to be found unless they wanted to be. Everything you thought you knew about this vessel was exactly what it wanted you to think. On the main screen, more changes swept across the massive warship. Sections that had appeared to be simple armor plating peeled back, revealing weapon systems far more advanced than the primitive ballistic weapons they'd mocked earlier. The supposedly basic nuclear exhaust ports now pulsed with an energy signature that none of the alien sensors could identify. "Multiple power signatures detected," Lee called out, her voice tight with concern. "The ship's energy output it's beyond our scale of measurement." Deep within the asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk, ancient systems roared to life. Lights blazed along its hull, no longer the dim flickers they'd seen before, but brilliant streams of energy that coursed through previously hidden channels. The ship's true form was revealing itself, and it was nothing like the primitive relic they'd thought they'd found. "Core activating," a new voice announced, not from their own ship, but broadcasting on all frequencies. The voice was calm, measured, and distinctly inhuman. "Threat assessment protocols engage. Unidentified vessels detected in restricted space." Ross stumbled back from the holographic display as it flickered and changed, showing the true complexity of the vessel before them. "Miller, explain this. How is this possible?" "The Thunder-class ships were humanity's greatest achievement," Tom said quietly, watching as more systems came online. "But they were also our greatest deception. Every seemingly primitive feature was designed to fool potential enemies into underestimating them. That's not just a warship out there. It's a guardian." The 3 trapped salvage team members suddenly found themselves enveloped in shimmering fields of energy. They were lifted gently off the hull and transported safely back to their ships, though not by their own recall systems. "Warning," the AI's voice came again, stronger now. "You have entered restricted human space without authorization. Your vessels have been tagged, and your weapon systems have been temporarily disabled. Please maintain your current position." The alien crew watched in stunned silence as every primitive feature they'd mocked transformed into something far beyond their understanding. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk now blazed with power, its true form finally revealed. Not a relic, but a masterpiece of human engineering and deception. "Captain," Tom said, his voice heavy with meaning, "I suggest you very carefully consider your next move. Because that ship out there, it's not just awake now, it's angry." The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk hung in space before them, its weapons primed, its systems fully operational, and its AI fully aware. The hunt was over. The Guardian had awakened. The bridge of the asterisk Star Seeker asterisk had fallen silent. Every alien crew member stared at the transformed vessel before them, their earlier laughter replaced by growing fear. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk had become something else entirely, a predator awakened from a long slumber. Scanning complete, the warship's AI announced, its voice echoing through every speaker. Species identification, Marlaxian. Technology level, grade C+. Threat assessment, moderate. Initiating first contact protocol. Captain Ross turned to Tom, his 4 eyes narrowed. What is it doing? What is this protocol? It's deciding whether to destroy your ships or not, Tom answered quietly. The Thunder-class vessels were programmed to protect human space, but they were also given strict rules about first contact situations. The massive warship's weapons remained trained on the alien fleet, but it made no hostile moves. Instead, detailed scans swept through each vessel, gathering information about their capabilities and crew. Your species is unknown to my database, the AI continued. This sector is restricted space under the protection of the Human Defense Network. State your purpose for entering this region. Ross stepped forward, trying to maintain his dignity. We are an exploration and salvage fleet. We thought your vessel was abandoned. We meant no harm. Partial truth detected. The AI responded immediately. Your intentions included mockery and technological theft. This has been noted. The weapon ports pulsed with barely contained energy. However, no aggressive intent was detected. Proceeding with diplomatic options. Tom moved to the front of the bridge. Thunder of Terra. This is Engineer Tom Miller, Human ID 47,291. Requesting Communication Protocol Alpha. There was a pause, and then the AI's tone shifted slightly. Human presence detected. Engineer Miller, your credentials are acknowledged. Do you vouch for these vessels? I serve as an advisor on this ship, Tom replied carefully. They made a mistake, but they're not enemies. They simply didn't understand what they were dealing with. The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut with a knife. Engineer Ward's tentacles were completely still, a sign of extreme stress in his species. Officer Lee hadn't blinked in several minutes. Acknowledged, the AI responded. Captain Ross of the Asterisk, Star Seeker Asterisk, your ships will be allowed to withdraw. However, you should understand what you have encountered today. The main screen filled with data, specifications that made the alien engineer's eyes widen in disbelief. The primitive nuclear reactors were actually contained quantum singularities. The ballistic weapon ports concealed gravity manipulation systems. The simple metal hull was made of smart materials centuries beyond their understanding. This vessel is one of many, the AI explained. We guard human space, watching, waiting, and protecting. Your assumption of our technological inferiority was intentional. It is a defense mechanism designed by our creators. Tom nodded slowly. The best way to protect humanity was to make sure nobody knew our true capabilities. Every Thunder-class ship appears primitive until it needs to show its real power. But why? Ross asked, genuinely confused. Why hide such advancement? Because, Tom explained, humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong is far more effective than appearing strong and being strong. It lets us know who our real enemies are. The Asterisk Thunder of Terra Asterisk powered down some of its weapons, though its defenses remained at full strength. You will be escorted to the border of restricted space. Your vessels have been marked. Future incursions will be treated with less patience. As the alien crew prepared to withdraw, Captain Ross turned to Tom. Your people, they're not what we thought they were, are they? Tom smiled slightly. No, Captain, we're really not. And there's something else you should know. He paused, looking at the mighty warship through the viewport. This isn't even our most advanced technology. It's just what we're willing to show you. The Asterisk Thunder of Terra Asterisk began to move, its massive form graceful despite its size. As it took up escort position, its AI had one final message. Welcome to human space. We hope you never have to visit again. Captain Ross stood rigid at his command station, his pride warring with his common sense. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk loomed before them, its true form now fully revealed, yet something in him refused to accept this reversal of fortune. "We are the most advanced fleet in this sector," he announced suddenly, his voice tight with anger. "I will not be ordered about by an ancient human eye." His fingers moved across the control panel, reactivating their weapon systems through a backup protocol. "Captain, don't," Tom shouted, but it was too late. The asterisk Starseeker's asterisk main guns powered up, their energy signatures flaring bright against the darkness of space. Two other ships in the alien fleet followed suit, their captains following Ross's lead. "Final warning," the asterisk thunder of Terra's asterisk eye announced calmly. "Power down your weapons or a demonstration will be necessary." Ross bared his teeth in what humans had learned was his species' expression of determination. "Fire," he commanded. "Show this relic what real weapons can do." Multiple energy beams lanced out from the alien vessels, each powerful enough to crack a small moon. They struck the asterisk thunder of Terra's asterisk hull in a blinding flash of light. For a moment, the bridge crew of the asterisk Starseeker asterisk cheered. Their celebration died instantly when the light faded. The human warship hung unchanged in space, not even a scorch mark on its gleaming surface. Instead, the energy from their weapons seemed to flow across its hull in beautiful, rippling patterns. "Thank you for the power donation," the AI said, and there was almost a note of amusement in its synthetic voice. "Allow me to return the favor." What happened next occurred so fast that most of the alien crew barely saw it. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk released a pulse of energy so subtle it was almost invisible. In an instant, every weapon system on the alien ships went dead. Not destroyed, simply turned off, as if someone had flipped a switch. "Impossible," Engineer Ward exclaimed, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "Our systems are completely independent. There's no way." "Quantum entanglement fields," Tom explained quietly. "Your weapons just got temporarily divorced from your reality. They still exist, but they're somewhere else right now." The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk moved then, demonstrating its true speed for the first time. It crossed the space between ships so quickly it seemed to blur, coming to a perfect stop between three alien vessels. More panels opened along its hull, revealing not weapons, but arrays of technology that the alien sensors couldn't even begin to classify. "Since you insisted on a demonstration," the AI announced, "let me show you what this relic can really do." A sphere of swirling blue energy expanded from the human ship, enveloping the three closest alien vessels. Inside the sphere, the alien crews watched in horror as their advanced hulls began to age rapidly, rust forming and spreading across their surfaces. Then, just as quickly, the process reversed. The rust vanished, the hulls restored themselves, and everything returned to normal. "Time manipulation field," Tom said, noting the shocked expressions around him. "Just one of many systems that humanity decided were too dangerous to show the galaxy. Your weapons may be powerful, Captain Ross, but we learned long ago that raw power isn't everything." The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk retracted its arrays, once again appearing deceptively simple. "Your weapons will be reactivated once you leave restricted space." This demonstration was mild. "The next will not be." Ross slumped in his chair, all four eyes fixed on the viewing screen. "All ships," he commanded, his voice hollow, "stand down. Follow the human vessel's instructions." As the alien fleet began their escorted withdrawal, Tom moved to stand beside the captain. "You know what the scary part is," he said softly. "This ship is over 200 years old. Imagine what our new ones can do." The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk led them silently through space, its message clear: humanity's kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. As the alien fleet followed the asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk toward the border of restricted space, Tom Miller received an unexpected message from the warship's eye. "Engineer Miller, your presence is requested aboard this vessel. Captain Ross may accompany you, if he wishes to understand." The alien captain looked at Tom, all four eyes blinking in sequence, this time from nervousness rather than amusement. "Is it safe?" "Safer than staying here," Tom replied with a slight smile. "I think it's time you learned the real truth about humanity's defense network." A soft blue light enveloped them both, and suddenly they were standing in a vast command center deep within the thunder of Terra *. The walls were lined with displays showing star maps, sensor readings, and data streams that made Ross's head spin. "Welcome." The AI's voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "This vessel has served as guardian of human space for 273 years, 4 months, and 12 days. Tom walked to a central console, his hands moving across the controls with familiar ease. "Captain, what you thought was a derelict ship is actually part of humanity's most sophisticated defense system. The Thunder-class vessels weren't built to fight wars. They were built to prevent them." Holographic images sprang to life around them, showing hundreds of similar ships scattered across the galaxy. Each one appeared as dormant and primitive as the thunder of Terra had, all quietly watching and waiting. "Our creators understood a fundamental truth," the AI explained. "The greatest conflicts often arise from fear of the unknown. When a species believes they are superior, they tend to act aggressively toward those they see as primitive." Ross watched as the holograms showed various alien species discovering and dismissing the seemingly ancient human ships, just as his crew had done. "You use their arrogance against them." "Precisely," Tom nodded. "Each Thunder-class vessel is a sentinel, designed to appear harmless until challenged. We learned early in our spacefaring history that appearing weak while being strong was far more effective than displaying our power openly." The AI brought up new images, showing the ship's true capabilities. "This vessel contains technology that your scientists would consider impossible. Temporal manipulation, quantum field generation, consciousness transfer systems, all hidden beneath a facade of primitive design." "But why?" Ross asked, genuinely curious now. "Why go to such lengths to hide your true power?" Tom's expression grew serious. "Because humanity remembered its own history. When we were young and thought ourselves superior, we often hurt those we saw as primitive. We didn't want other species to make the same mistakes with us, or with each other," the AI added. "Each encounter like today's is recorded and analyzed. Species that show aggression or arrogance are monitored more closely. Those who show wisdom and restraint are noted as potential future allies." Ross looked around the command center with new understanding. "Today wasn't just about protecting your space, was it? It was a test." "Every interaction is a test," Tom confirmed. "And how species react to discovering they were wrong about us tells us everything we need to know about them." The AI brought up a final display, showing the true extent of human space, far larger than anything the aliens had suspected. "The Thunder-class network has maintained peace in this sector for centuries, not through force, but through understanding. We watch, we wait, and when necessary, we teach." "And now," Ross asked quietly. "Now you understand why arrogance is dangerous," Tom said. "You understand that appearances can be deceiving, and that true strength often lies hidden. Most importantly, you understand that humanity chose to be guardians rather than conquerors." The blue light enveloped them again, returning them to the Star Seeker's bridge. As they reappeared, Ross looked at the mighty vessel through the viewport with new eyes. "Remember," the AI's voice came through one final time, "what you learned today. The galaxy is filled with surprises, Captain Ross. Sometimes, the most powerful beings are the ones who don't feel the need to prove their power at all." 3 days later, the alien fleet reached the border of restricted space. The thunder of Terra had escorted them the entire way, its presence a constant reminder of their humbling experience. As they prepared to depart, Captain Ross stood on his bridge, watching the massive warship with newfound respect. "All ships report ready for transit," Officer Lee announced quietly. The entire crew had been subdued since their encounter, their previous arrogance replaced by thoughtful silence. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk moved to face them, its hull once again bearing the appearance of an ancient battle-scarred vessel. The transformation was so complete that if Ross hadn't witnessed its true form, he might have again mistaken it for a relic. Before you depart, the AI's voice came through their communication system, a final message from the Human Defense Network. Tom stepped forward from his station. Over the past few days, he had received official authorization to serve as humanity's representative. Captain Ross, your response to our revelation has been noted. While your initial actions were concerning, your ability to learn and adapt has been registered positively. Ross's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, this time showing understanding. We have learned much from this encounter, more than just about technology. That, Tom smiled, was the point. The Council of Human Systems has authorized me to extend an invitation. In 1 standard year, if your people wish, you may send a diplomatic delegation to discuss formal relations. The bridge crew stirred with excitement at this news. Even Engineer Ward's tentacles moved in hopeful patterns. Diplomatic relations with humanity had been considered impossible before. Their species had always seemed too primitive and isolated. However, the AI added, remember that what you have seen is only a fraction of our capabilities. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk is one of our older vessels, maintained as a first contact checkpoint. It serves as both warning and invitation. Ross nodded slowly. A test to see how we handle discovering. We were wrong about everything we thought we knew. Precisely, Tom confirmed. Those who can admit their mistakes and learn from them are the species we wish to know better. Those who respond with aggression. He let the sentence hang meaningfully. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk began to power down its escort protocols, its hull shimming one last time. You will find a data package in your systems. It contains approved information about human space and preliminary diplomatic protocols. Study it well before sending your delegation. And Captain, Tom added with a slight smile, do remember to warn them about scanning for primitive ships. Ross actually laughed, a sound none of his crew had heard since their encounter began. I believe that lesson has been thoroughly learned, Engineer Miller. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk began to move away, its massive form surprisingly graceful. As it turned, Ross noticed something that made him gasp. The battle scars and signs of age were rearranging themselves, forming words in his species' language across the hull. Peace through understanding, strength through wisdom. That will be humanity's gift to you, Tom explained. A reminder that appearances can deceive, but wisdom endures. Your species has taken its first step toward a larger universe, Captain. Make sure they're careful steps. As the alien fleet prepared to depart, Ross turned to Tom one last time. Will you continue serving on my ship, now that we know what you really are? Tom's smile widened. Captain, what makes you think you know what I really am? Remember, humanity likes to hide its greatest strengths in plain sight. The asterisk thunder of Terra asterisk disappeared in a flash of light that their sensors couldn't explain, leaving the alien fleet to ponder one final lesson. In a galaxy full of wonders and dangers, sometimes the greatest power lies not in showing your strength, but in knowing when to hide it. As they turned toward home, Ross knew that the galaxy had suddenly become a much larger, more interesting, and slightly more humbling place. And somewhere out there, humanity's guardians continued their eternal watch, waiting to teach this lesson to the next species who thought they had found nothing but a relic in space.